Namaste. This is Dr. R. Sridhar, Assistant Professor of Commerce, Government City College, Hyderabad. Today's topic is Accounting for Depreciation Part 2. In the last class, that is Accounting for Depreciation Part 1, we have learned about the basics of depreciation, that is the meaning of depreciation, the reasons for charging the depreciation, objectives of charging the depreciation, and also the basis for charging the depreciation. In today's class, we will discuss about the various methods of charging the depreciation. Methods of providing or allocating depreciation. There are two important methods for charging the depreciation. One is straight line method and second one is written down value method. The other methods includes sinking fund method, annuity method, insurance policy method, revaluation method which is used for loose tools, depletion method in respect of wasting assets like mines, oil wells, etc., machine hour rate method. These are the different methods which are used for charging the depreciation. We look at the first one, straight line method of depreciation. Under this method of depreciation, the depreciation is charged by a given rate of depreciation on the original cost of the asset every year. Due to this reason, depreciation charged annually remains fixed, and so the method is called as fixed installment method, in the sense that the amount of depreciation charged remains the same over a period of time, as at a given rate of depreciation it is charged on the original cost of the asset. This is also called original cost method of depreciation, as the depreciation is charged on the original cost every year. Straight line method of depreciation, how the rate of annual depreciation or the rate of depreciation is calculated, we'll have a look on it. If the rate of depreciation is not given, then the annual depreciation and rate of depreciation is calculated by applying the following formulas. Annual depreciation is equals to cost of the asset minus scrap value, that is the residual value after the useful life of the asset, divided by useful lifetime of the asset in years. We can also even calculate the rate of depreciation by dividing annual depreciation by cost of the asset multiplied with 100. We'll have a look on an example how the straight line method, under straight line method, annual depreciation is calculated. A firm purchased a machine for rupees 1,75,000 and spent rupees 45,000 for installation. Its economic life in 10 is 10 years and estimated residual value after 10 years is 20,000. Charge depreciation by straight line method. Here the annual depreciation is calculated under straight line method with a given formula, that is cost of the asset minus scrap value divided by useful life of the asset in years. Under given example, the total cost, that includes the cost incurred for purchase plus the installation expenses, total put together it is 2,20,000, and the scrap value 20,000 is deducted and divided by 10, that is the useful lifetime of the asset. Here we get 20,000 as the annual depreciation for the given asset. That means that every year we are going to charge 20,000 as the depreciation to the asset account. Here, when depreciation charge in various years is put on a graph, it gives you a straight line parallel to x-axis. Due to this reason, this method is called as straight line method, as the amount of depreciation charged every year remains unchanged, as it is calculated at a given rate on a original cost of the asset. The depreciation will be remaining same throughout all the years. That is the reason it is called as straight line method. Then we'll look at what are the various merits of this method of depreciation. It is simple. Every year the fixed amount is charged as depreciation, and calculation of depreciation is also very simple. Asset is completely written off. Here the most important advantage or the merit of this method is the total cost of the asset can be recovered in the form of depreciation. In a given example, the depreciation charged every year is 20,000 rupees and the life of the asset is 10 years. So every year if you go on charge depreciation, So at the end of the last 10th year, the total amount of the cost is absorbed completely with the help of this method. No window dressing. A fixed amount of depreciation is charged to the profit and loss account every year. The effect of depreciation on profit is equal and the chance of manipulating profits are very less. That is, the amount of depreciation charged to the profit and loss account remains same throughout the years, whereby it is not going to affect the profit and loss of the organization. Knowledge of original cost and total depreciation charged. We'll have a knowledge or the information over what is the original cost of the asset and what is the total depreciation charged till date. We look at how the calculation of return on value and depreciation under straight line method is carried out. Take an example. Cost of the machine 77,760 rupees. Useful life 5 years. Estimated scrap value after 5 years is 31,250. Charge depreciation by straight line method. Here we are given with the inputs that which are required. One is we require the cost of the asset, then we require the scrap value and the useful life of the asset, which are the basis for the calculation of depreciation, and all the three are given here. So annual depreciation is equals to 77,760, which is the cost of the asset, minus 31,250, which is the scrap value of the asset after its useful lifetime, and divided by 5. 5 is the useful lifetime of the asset in years. So annual depreciation comes to 9,302 rupees, and rate of depreciation is 9,302 divided by the cost of the asset 77,760 into 100 comes to 11.92%. This table will give you the details about the opening written down value, rate of depreciation, and the closing written down value of the asset. So the first year 77,760 is the amount of opening value of the asset. The rate of depreciation 11.92 is the percentage of depreciation, and it amounts to 9,302, and the value of the asset after deducting the depreciation amount comes to 68,458. If you look at the closing balances of the asset at the end of the 5th year after charging the depreciation, the value 31,250 is the closing balance of the asset, which is equivalent to the residual value of the asset. And if you look at the depreciation column, the same amount of 9,302 rupees is the amount of depreciation charged every year, as the amount of depreciation is not changing from year to year. That is the reason we call it as a fixed installment method. Next, we look at what are the demerits or the limitations of this method. Unequal charge against income. The total charge on account of the using fixed asset comprises depreciation plus repairing charges. Under straight line method, depreciation charge is fixed but repair charges go on increase year after year. Thus, total charge against income goes on increases. We'll try to illustrate with this with the help of a given example. So years 1 to 4 are given when the depreciation is 20,000 rupees, which is fixed, and here repairs in the first year, as we know that the repairs amount goes on increases as the passage of the time. That is, when you start using the machine or the asset, initially the repairs amount will be very minimal, but as the time passes, due to wear and tear and due to technical reasons, the repairs amount goes on increases. Here look at the repairs in the first year is nil, and the second year 1,000, 3,000, and next one is 5,000 for second, third, and fourth year respectively. And the total charge to the profit and loss account, that is the depreciation plus repairs. In the first year it is 20,000, but when you look at from the second year, it is going on increasing, that is 21,000, 23,000, and 25,000, which makes it burden on the profits of the organization. But there is a logic here. the efficiency of a asset will be high in the initial days, and as the time passes the efficiency will decrease and the revenues generated out of the use of that fixed asset will decline. But whereas the depreciation and total repairs charged subsequent years is increasing, thereby it is irrational in providing depreciation under straight line method, as it is giving more burden in the latter years than the initial years, wherein it is having impact on the profitability condition of the organization. The second demerit is interest factor ignored. Here the one of the merit was the total cost of the asset is recovered, that is the asset value can be reduced to zero in case of straight line method. But here the amount that is invested for procuring or for purchase acquiring the asset, if at all the same is invested into the bank account, it would have generated some sort of income in the form of interest. But the straight line method doesn't take into consideration the interest that is foregone on the investment made in the asset. This is the another drawback, because only we are for our focus is on the recoupment or recover of the investment made in the procurement of asset, but what is the loss or what is the interest that is foregone by investing in this asset is not taken into account. This is another drawback of straight line method. Undue pressure in latter years, as we said that the efficiency of the asset goes on decreases as the time passes, but when we consider this method, due to increase in the repairs, the total amount charged for profit and loss account is going on increasing, thus the pressure in latter years is unduly high. Difficult to estimate scrap value. One of the basis for calculation of depreciation under straight line method is we need to know the scrap value, but it is not easy to estimate the scrap value of an asset after its useful lifetime accurately. Unsuitable for long term asset. The assets having long life require several additions and extensions from time to time. This method is not suitable for them. It is also not suitable for assets having heavy investment. So this is not useful for such kind of assets. No provision of funds for replacement. Under this method, though the amount of depreciation is charged every year, but this amount is not invested in the securities, so that it will yield you some return for the replacement of asset after its completion of useful lifetime of the asset. Instead, the depreciation amount is used for working capital, and thereby will not be able to provide funds for replacement of assets after the expiry of the asset. Then we'll move on to the written down value method. Under this method, depreciation is charged at a fixed rate on the opening balance of the asset. This balance is reduced every year, thus the amount of depreciation goes on reducing year after year. The main feature of this method is that the depreciation is calculated on the opening balance of asset every year. The opening balance of asset every year implies that after deducting the depreciation of the current year, then the next day, that is the opening of the next year, what is the balance that is available, on that balance at a given rate the depreciation is calculated. Thus, it is clear that under this method, value of the asset as well as the depreciation charged goes on reducing every year. Due to this reason, this method is also called reducing installment method. Here, as the depreciation is charged every year on the opening balance of the asset, that is after deducting the depreciation, as the written down value will go on decrease every year, and as the depreciation is calculated on this opening balance, the depreciation amount will also gradually reduce from year to year, as the value of the asset and the depreciation is reducing year after year. This is the reason We also call this method as reducing installment method. The value of the asset left after charging depreciation is called return on value. Due to this reason, this method is also called as return on value method. Here, as the depreciation is charged on the return down value, that is after deducting the depreciation amount, this is called as return on value method. The rate of depreciation charged under this method is higher than that charged in the straight line method. The calculation formula for calculation of depreciation under the return on value method is R, that is rate, is equals to 1 minus n by that is here the rate of depreciation under return on value method is calculated with the help of a formula. R is equals to 1 minus n under root S by C, that is residual value or the scrap value, divided by cost of the asset. Here in the given information, the asset useful life of the asset is 5 years, the scrap value is 31,250 and the cost of the asset is 77,760. So the rate of depreciation under for this given asset is 16.67. Now let us have a calculation of depreciation and return on value under the return on value method. The opening balance is rate of depreciation, depreciation charged, and the closing written down value. Here the opening balance of the asset is 77,760. The rate of depreciation is 16.67 as calculated with the help of the given formula. The depreciation amount comes to 12,960 and the closing value of the asset comes to 64,800, that is 77,760 minus 12,960. Then the amount of the closing balance will become the opening balance of the asset to the next year. Here 64,800, which is the closing balance, will become the opening balance for the second year, and this becomes the basis for calculating the second year depreciation. That is 16.67% of the rate of depreciation is calculated on 64,800 for the second year, which comes to 10,800, and 64,800 minus 10,800 comes to 54,000. The third year for the valuation of, for the calculation of depreciation, 54,000 will be taken into account. When you look at the table, the return on value is the basis for calculating the rate of depreciation, that is amount of depreciation. When we look at the amount of depreciation charged every year, the rate of the amount of depreciation goes on reducing year to year. That is 12,960, then 10,800, 9,000, 7,500, 6,250. And when you look at the closing return down value of the asset after at the end of the fifth year after charging the depreciation, 31,250, which is equivalent to the residual value. That means the asset will be sold after useful lifetime of the asset after 5 years. If the asset is sold, we will be receiving 31,250. And we look at the merits of this method, that is the return on value method. Simple, the calculation is very simple, unlike the straight line, the same as usual like straight line method. We need to only remember the original cost of the asset. Then second one is equal charge against income. Under this method, depreciation charge is reducing every year while repair charges are increased. Thus total charge against income remains the same more or less. No undue pressure in the latter years, as the depreciation amount goes on decrease every year and the repairs amount increases, which will offset the decreased charge, that the less amount of depreciation which we are charging in the latter years will be compensated with the increase in the repairs amount, whereby the pressure on the profit and loss account is very uniform. approved by tax authorities, as this method is approved or recognized under the Income Tax Act 1961. Now look at the comparison. We'll have a comparison of straight line method and diminishing value method. So the depreciation charged under straight line method is 9,302 every year, and under diminishing value method 12,960, 10,800, 9,000, 7,500, 6,250. And here the repairs amount in the first year is 0, and second year 1,100, third year 2,300, 2,300, fourth year 3,800, and fifth year it is 5,500. When you look at the total charge under straight line method, the total amount is going on increasing from year to year. That is, the depreciation together with repairs is increasing. That implies that the amount is charged more in the subsequent years when compared to the initial years. In contrary to this, under written down value method, the amount charged in the initial years, that is total depreciation plus repairs, is high, and as the time passes, as the years go on, the charge against profit and loss account is decreasing. This is very apt for those assets, that is the return on value method of depreciation is more suitable for those assets whose efficiency decreases due to the passage of time and repairs increases due to passage of time. That is like machinery, equipment. For all those assets, return on value method is more suitable, and straight line method is suitable for those assets whose benefit is stable, or the assets benefit is spread throughout its lifetime uniformly. For example, leasehold property. We have taken a leasehold property for 5 years, and the benefit from this leasehold property for 5 years will be uniform. In that case, the straight line method is useful. Next, we'll look at the demerits of return on value method. Difficult in determining the rate of depreciation. It is very difficult to calculate the rate of depreciation, which will depreciate the asset completely. Even if an asset becomes obsolete or useless, the books show some balance. Interest factor included same as straight line method. Here also only the amount incurred for procurement of asset is only considered, and the interest foregone by investing in the asset is not taken into account. No provision for funds for replacement, same as straight line method. Here also whatever the amount of depreciation that is charged is not invested anywhere, so that it will provide some funds for the replacement of assets. Asset cannot be completely written off. This is another major drawback of this method, wherein we cannot write off the total amount of the cost of the machinery or asset by using this method, because as it is calculated on the diminishing value or the written down value, never the asset comes to zero under this method. No information about original cost and accumulated depreciation. So the original cost of the asset is not known if the company or the firm makes use of this method, because only written down value figures will be available, and what is the accumulated depreciation cannot be accurately known. So this is what about this different methods of, or the two methods which are most widely used for charging the depreciation, that is straight line method and diminishing balance method. Thank you very much.